to Pairings with the PCC. I'm Susan Medley. I'm the director of the Pittsburgh Concert Chorale, and I'm joined today by Bryan Sable, our wonderful chorale accompanist. Hey, Bryan.
Hey, Susan. Good to see you.
Good to see you. This is just so crazy in this time of COVID-19. We're just all quarantined and wishing we could make music.
I know. It feels like it's been ages, partially because it really has been ages. February 28th and then March 1st, right?
Yes, we did Carmina Burana on February 28th and March 1st. And then we had one rehearsal for the Pops concert, and then COVID-19 hit, and here we are.
Yeah.
Well, what we thought would be fun is, since we can't be rehearsing and performing, is we thought it would just be fun to kind of highlight some of our past concerts in just sort of a fun way. And this one actually is going to be not a highlight of a past concert, but a preview of an upcoming concert. And this is we were in the middle of our 35th anniversary season. And this concert was going to be so much fun, wasn't it?
I was so excited for this Pops concert. I get excited for Pops concerts anyway, just because I love playing. Your selections are so diverse, and there's just so many wonderful, miniature pieces here and there. It's like, if you come to one of our Pops concerts and don't walk away smiling, you better go to a cardiologist. Make sure that your heart's still ticking, because you just pick such great, diverse stuff. And I know what you had planned. It was just going to be amazing. So I can't wait to just do it next year.
Absolutely. And thank you for saying about the music that I picked. But this one was not chosen by me. This was chosen by the audience and the singers. And it was 35 years of favorites. So we asked for selections of kind of our greatest hits from the audience and singers. And we got so many great selections. And that's how the program was chosen. I mean, it was everybody else who chose the program.
So our audience has really good taste.
They do, don't they? Hey, only the best audience for the PCC. And so we thought we would just give you kind of a preview of some of the pieces that we were going to do in May, because we are going to do 35 years of favorites. Maybe we'll change the name to 36 years of favorites next May.
Oh, wait, 3 dozen. That's 3 dozen.
That's 3 dozen. 3 dozen years of favorites. I like that.
We need to come up with some good wordplay.
We do. Well, I'll tell you one kind of good wordplay. We've decided to call this Pairings with the PCC, because for each one of these that Bryan and I do, we thought it would be appropriate to be drinking something that went along with the kind of program that we're highlighting. So since this is a 35th anniversary concert, what more appropriate drink than champagne?
I lost my social graces. I already sipped.
That's all right. Cheers. Cheers. Now we'll both drink. And of course, for any of you who are watching, we invite you to join us in this, endeavor of drinking our way through these concerts.
We should do a secret word like Andy Cohen does for the Bravo Watch What Happens Live.
Yes, and every time we say the secret word.
Or, you know what, better yet, for this platform, maybe anytime they hear music, they should just drink.
That's a great idea. That is a fabulous idea.
I will have all of the local emergency rooms on call and waiting for the massive onslaught of people appearing with liver issues.
Oh my goodness. Well, we chose Pairings with the PCC because, I'm fond of alliteration, so I thought that would work well. I'm also fond of rhyming, but I didn't think Boozin' with Susan was quite as dignified as Pairings with the PCC.
Well, Boozin' with Susan leads right to Crying with Bryan. Everyone just gets so emotional.
Oh, goodness. Well, the first song that we're going to listen to, and this is, we both love this arrangement.
I love it.
Unclouded Day, arranged by Sean Kirshner, who's an American choral arranger, composer. 8 parts, a cappella. So sadly, you're not playing in this one, but a cappella is okay too. And it's an old gospel tune. And you grew up with this song, huh?
I did. In fact, I was relaying to you earlier about the fact that I grew up in a non-denominational church, and I started playing there at the age of 10, but I have really, really fond memories of this song because we started going there around the age of 8 or so, and we had a pianist whose name was Joanne, and she played everything in this kind of like rockabilly gospel style. So everything kind of had the same seasoning to it, you know. It'd be like having a pot of spaghetti with Old Bay thrown in, you know. It's just like everything tasted the same. But this hymn tune, I remembered it just so clearly because Joanne would start most Sunday mornings with a medley of Unclouded Day, Peace Like a River, and then Shall We Gather at the River. And that was like our kind of call to worship, you know. So this hymn tune is something that's just takes me right back to my childhood.
That's so cool. Well, this PCC did this in its Sounds of the Season concert, even though it's not a Christmas song, in 2016. And I think the timing was, if I remember right, I had just discovered this piece at a conference earlier that year, and I thought, oh, we've got to do it. And so I got it, I bought it, and we prepared it, and I thought, okay, so it doesn't really fit with Sounds of the Season, but hey, we're going to do it anyway because it's
it's a great piece of music. Doesn't matter what time of the year you hear it.
Exactly. Well, let's take a listen to PCC singing. This is Unclouded Day, arranged by Sean Kirshner.
Oh, they tell me of a home far beyond the skies. They tell me of a home far away. And they tell me of a home where the storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, the land of cloudless skies. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Tell me of a home, they tell me of a home where my friends sat alone. They tell me of a land far away, where the tree of life in eternal blue sheds its fragrance through the unclouded day. Oh, the land of boundless thousands. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day.
Tell me of a king in his beauty. Oh, they tell me of my God.
Tell me of a man in his in the city set his day of unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded day. Oh, the land of cloudless day. Oh, the land of an unclouded sky. Oh, they tell me of a home where no storm clouds rise. Oh, they tell me of an unclouded
Isn't that the greatest arrangement?
I love towards the end of that piece when you think you can't take any more, right? Because those textures are just so thick and juicy. And then all of a sudden that chord that bursts into, oh, the land of an unclouded day. It's just like, oh, what a great
It is so cool. So next May, you will hear Unclouded Day on our 35th plus one, 3 dozen years of favorites, whatever we're going to call that concert. I like that idea, though.
I like it. We've got to come up with something about that.
We do. Well, this next one is from our Hooray for Hollywood Pops concert that we did back in 2018. And
Yeah.
that is Let the River Run, another great arrangement.
I love this arrangement so much. Just, the opening where you're kind of, it's very, I don't want to say mystical, but the way that he sets up those bass and tenor voices, and then you just layer in the women on top. It's like, oh, it gives such a great feeling.
It does. And then when it just opens up into that, let the river.
Oh yeah. It's like, you know what it reminds me of?
What?
And this is a strange comparison, but I bet you'll get it. It's like Zadok the priest.
Yes, it is.
It's like that same
Yes.
same feeling of like, oh my goodness, here comes the tension, here it comes, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yes.
It's like a light switch flips on.
It is. Yeah, it's the same kind of feeling. And the only thing wrong with this particular arrangement is it isn't long enough.
I know.
It ends and it's like, I wanted more.
I know.
Hella Johnson is the arranger of this one, and he is a noted choral conductor and arranger who just does such really cool stuff. And of course, at the very beginning, you'll hear our very own Bob Rosthorn playing the drums. How fabulous is Bob Rosthorn?
Bob is, there's no other word I use to describe Bob other than a gem. He's not just a gem of a musician. He is literally, I think, the next best thing to Mr. Rogers. Hearing him tell stories, there's not a bone in his body that is not filled with a marrow of kindness. He is just the best. Just the best.
He's so wonderful.
It's funny because this takes me back to this piece, with the first time with the band. And I don't know if you remember, but we were having a hard time just kind of feeling a groove with it, because it's like, what do you do with this? It's kind of Latin, kind of rock, kind of. And I looked over at him. I said something like, hey, Bob, could you funk this up a little bit for us and give us something like Bossa Nova? And he was like, oh, okay. And he did it. And it was like the coolest introduction.
It was very cool. And Bob, some of you might not know, Bob Rosthorn is our drummer for our Pops concerts. And Bob was the drummer on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood for over 30 years. And he just, what he's seen and what he's done, and, he's played for all the big names. And
he has played with so many names. like he's literally a jazz icon. And we are so lucky to have him.
Oh, we are.
But it makes me feel so humbled because he starts out every rehearsal with, hey, you remember? And I'm like, no, I don't remember that person.
Yeah.
Because he'll mention these great jazz names, and every once in a while, the biggest honor I ever got was when we did, I can't remember what piece it was. It was something like the Charleston or some, how we did some of those pieces that,
right.
those old, and he looked over at me one time, he was like, you just played a Costa lick, kid. And I thought, I did what? Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. It was like the best feeling in the world. Bobby just compared me to Johnny Costa.
Yeah.
But I'll take it.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, he's amazing. Hey, to Bob.
To Bob
Rosthorn. You're the best, Bob.
I better slow down.
Okay, so let's listen to Let the River Run. The reason this was on Hooray for Hollywood was because it was sung in the 1988 movie Working Girl. Remember who did the single of who originated Let the River Run? I don't know if she wrote it or
Wasn't it Carly Simon? Yeah.
Carly Simon, absolutely. So let's hear the Pittsburgh Concert Chorale singing Let the River Run. That is, oh, I love that song so much.
When we do it next year, we need to extend the arrangement.
We do. We need to make it longer somehow because it just, I don't know. It's too short.
Yeah, it's such a great arrangement. So much energy.
Yes. So in 2016, for our Pops concert, the Pittsburgh Concert Chorale did I Could Have Danced All Night. And every one of the songs either was a dance or it had a dance in the title or something. I think this is the only one that didn't actually say dance, and it wasn't a dance, but It's Raining Men was like this great disco hit that was, I mean, so danceable, right?
So much fun. So much fun. I remember that entire concert was just a blast.
It really was. It was just killer. So It's Raining Men was done originally by a group called the Weather Girls. Did the Weather Girls ever do anything else other than It's Raining Men?
I think they were pretty much a one-hit wonder, weren't they?
I think so too. But our women of the PCC, all our sopranos and altos became the Weather Girls, led by Sherry Rosiski, who is the solo voice that you'll hear on this recording. She just has this killer voice. She's a musical theater dancer in Point Park.
And that voice is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
For the solo of this piece.
To be perfectly honest, there are times I choose a piece because of a particular voice. And I had Sherry in mind when I chose this piece, but I always have auditions because you never know who's going to audition for what or whatever. And Sherry walked in and there were several pieces in the concert that year that had solos. And I said, "What are you here to audition for?" And she said, "It's Raining Men." And I was like, yes. She would just sound so killer on this piece. And
your master plan.
I do, yes. And it worked out. And of course, she does sound killer on this piece. So here are the women of the Pittsburgh Concert Chorale from Pops 2016.
I can't wait.
I know, I love it. Here they are singing It's Raining Men.
Umbrellas at home.
just have to propose a toast to Sherry.
To Sherry, yes, our own weather girl. That was so much fun. I love that. All of these pieces are so much fun. That's why it was such a bummer we didn't get to do this concert, but hey, we'll do it next May. So we have it to look forward to. We're going to end today. The last piece we're going to listen to is also from, well, we actually did this twice. We did this in 2016 for I Could Have Danced All Night, but we also did it in 2018 for the Hooray for Hollywood, because it's in both categories. It's such a great piece. This is Dancing Queen. Of course, ABBA sang this piece, but of course it worked Dancing Queen for the I Could Have Danced All Night, and it's from Mamma Mia, so it fit into the Hooray for Hollywood. And do you remember that night? It was the first time we performed at the Frick.
I was just going to say, you know, I mean, all of the musical experiences that even just you and I have had together, because let's face it, we've known each other for, oh my gosh, 13 or 14 years now.
Yeah.
And we've made a lot of really good music together, you know, everything from Junior Mendelssohn through the Mendelssohn, and, you know,
yeah.
This is one of my top, I would say top 3 to 5, because it's really hard to narrow it down.
It is, yeah. I mean, there are different ways, but
musical experiences of my life was that Friday at Frick concert. Who would have thought that you and I would be rock stars?
I know, right? I mean, it's so funny because, of course, Bryan and I both come out of this classically trained background, and it's funny to hear us saying this was one of the top musical experiences of our life, because, I mean, it's Dancing Queen. It's not, we both, you know, we have a love for Chopin and Rachmaninoff too, you know?
Exactly.
That night, well, first of all, it was the perfect storm because it was Fridays at the Frick in 2018. It was their first Friday night event. The weather was absolutely
perfect.
And the Concert Chorale was there, and we were singing our Hooray for Hollywood concert that we had done in May, and this was like end of June, I think. And they had said that in the past they'd had, you know, anywhere from 500 to 1,500 people show up. There were 4,000 people there that night. And we ended the concert with Dancing Queen, and we said, hey, you know, why don't you get up and enjoy this piece and dance along with us? And oh my gosh.
Literally I looked out and I thought, this must be what it feels like to be on tour with like a party crowd at a festival. That's what it felt like.
It did.
I will never forget that. Like looking out and you know what's funny, Susan, you know, we mentioned Bob earlier.
Yeah.
Bob said to me, he said, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. He said, I feel fantastic.
That was so cool because we really did feel like rock stars. I mean, everybody was up and they were screaming and they were singing along and dancing. I mean, it was sort of like our own little Woodstock, only most people were coherent.
Most.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember much about loading up that night, but
yeah.
That was the most fun experience.
Yeah, it was. Really
and thank you to the Frick for having us back. You know, we were scheduled to go there again this year. So maybe next year.
We are going for sure.
Oh, great.
Yes,
good.
We're on their schedule for next year. I'm so excited. Yeah, because we were there in 2018, we were there in 2019 last year, and you know, like you said, we were supposed to be there this year, but
maybe we can arrange for the weather to be perfect and another 4,000 people to be there.
That would be so great. Yes.
And I mean, is that the largest? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Is that the largest crowd we've ever sung for?
Well, yeah, other than, you know, the national anthem at the Pirates.
Oh, the Pirates games, right.
You know, tens of thousands and more. But as far as, yes, a concert, 4,000 like that was just, and I think the Frick was like, we've never had this many people on the grounds at one time before. It was really cool.
It was amazing.
And, what? Sorry.
It's like a top musical highlight of my life.
It is. It's very cool. So let's listen to Dancing Queen, and by all means, get up and dance around your house. And, to Dancing Queen. You know, if we're at it, we might as well really do it. Champagne pairs very well with anniversary concerts. Let's face it, it pairs well. All right, here we go. So much fun.
I can't get that mental image out of my mind. In my mind, though, there were like laser show and smoke and like a whole bunch of special effects. We didn't have any of that, right?
We did not have special effects, but it's sure.
Can we do that for next year?
Yeah, we'll work on that.
It's in the budget.
Yeah, sure, it's in the budget. Yeah, we'll call them bellies or something, you know.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us for Pairings with the PCC. And the next time we're together, we'll be reviewing one of our past concerts. But if you like what you heard in Pairings with the PCC today, the 35th anniversary concert preview, please come next May. I mean, the plan is by May of 2021, it'll be safe to sing again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
We really hope to perform for you then. But until then, hey, stay safe and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Bryan.
Thank you, Susan. This has been a blast.
It's been fun. See ya.
Bye-bye.